It's no secret that Irving is a city on the move, and here on Discover Irving, we've been running around like crazy trying to keep up with all of the fun, innovative, interesting, and, well, inspiring things going on in our community. So we thought it would be fun to take a look back in this special edition of The Best of Discover Irving. When it comes to innovation, the Irving Fire Department is always on the cutting edge. So we visited with Chief Rusty Wilson for a look at the state-of-the-art fire rescue vehicles that the fire department uses on-road, off-road, and on the high seas. In this case, Lake Carolyn. Here are some highlights.
This is a Harbor Guard fireboat that we have stationed on the lake here at Lake Carolyn. This is driven by a 250 horsepower Mercury outboard engine, and it's capable of producing a 1,250 gallons per minute fire stream off the front of the boat. So it is for the protection of these areas where we have complexes and buildings or structures right up to the water's edge, and we simply don't have the accessibility to get a fire engine on the back side of that structure in the case of a fire. Oh, if we have an emergency on the lake or we have an emergency around the lake, on the shoreline of the lake, they're able to come down here, access the boat, deploy it from this slip and get on the lake within a matter of minutes. And of course, if it's a fire, then they're able to create that fire stream. If it's a rescue, then they're able to implement that also. It's actually drawing the water right from the lake, from the bottom of the boat, through a pump that's in the rear, and then it's plumbed up to the front to this monitor that we use to create the fire stream up here in the front of the boat. There are two connections, one on either side, that allow us to connect hand lines to that too, so we can operate that way also. These are side platforms that are deployable. On each side, there's another platform on the other side, identical to this. We have a cabling system with electric winches that allow those to be deployed. They come down then to the water level. So if we're in, say, a situation where we're having to do a rescue on the lake or something like that, then it provides accessibility to the water for that rescue. This boat had to be really adapted for our situation, and with some of the specifications that I put in for this boat, the manufacturer had to do some little tricks that they had never done before. This is a 24-foot boat, so it's small enough to be used on this lake, and yet it's big enough that it has the equipment on to create a fire stream. Also, you've got to remember, here in Las Colinas, we have the canals going up behind the buildings and so forth over here. That canopy actually has a way to raise and lower. We can raise it and have plenty of headroom if we're doing operations out on the open water of the lake. But if we're going into the canals up under the bridges, we had to have a way for that to collapse and go underneath the bridges. So that's a collapsible type canopy. It telescopes up and down. We call it the ASAP vehicle, which is Alternative Support Apparatus. This is our all-terrain ambulance that we use out here in cases such as the Campion trails and places that we need access to, where there is limited access. It works great for out here at the trails because if we have an incident down on the trails, we're able to get to the patient It's outfitted in such a way that when we have personnel staff it, they will transfer their medical kits over so that they have their meds and so forth to use. There is a full-size patient stretcher in the back of this ambulance, the same size stretcher that we would have in our regular ambulances that are on the roads of Irving. But we're able to go ahead and package the patient, load the patient on that stretcher, and from there load them into the back of this ambulance. And as I said, be able to get them out of a limited access area to a place that's more accessible for one of our regular ambulances. And it's a very specialized piece of equipment. Some of the features that we have on it, of course, is the emergency lighting feature. So we do have emergency lights on it. We also have scene light capabilities here, so we can flood the scene if we're working on a patient, say on the side of a trail, then we can light up the scene wherever we're working the patient. This is the inside of the vehicle. Not a lot of room other than just for the driver and one passenger. You could even be communicating back and forth with the attendants that are tending to the patient in the back of the vehicle. It's always a good idea with an all-terrain vehicle have that winch on the front, because if they're going in all-terrain, there's a possibility they could get stuck too. Might be a little compromised and stuck back on the trail or something like that, or if we were high center on some kind of obstacle, we'd be able to access the winch to help us out. This is the back of the vehicle, and obviously you can see we have the patient stretcher on board now. You can see we have equipment in the back for working a CPR type event. We actually have the room and the capability to work a full-blown CPR. People of Irving should know that use the Campion trails, that there's trail markers down there. If they were to need to call 911, give us a trail marker, give us a location, and we'll get there pretty quick. And we can get there, of course, then quickly with this vehicle and start working any kind of an event that we might have.
So tell me about the power lift. How does it operate?
It's all automatic in the sense that when let's say we go into a home because of an emergency medical situation, and we decide we're going to transport this person, then we can go ahead and come out, get the cot. It automatically comes out. You notice how easily I'm pulling this out now.
It's amazing, yeah.
So it is supported now by those arms under there of this power lift system.
Well, you know what I'm going to ask you next, right?
I can guess.
Here I am once again. I'm ill. This is better than the State Fair of Texas. Bye, Mom.
Okay.
That's a wrap. See ya.
We have arrived at the hospital. It's time to unload Kathy, take her into the ER. You can see how easily and simply that rolls out. Supported by the lift. Now we're using our lift system on the stretcher itself to put the wheels down and prepare to roll you into our ER. And there you go.
I am cured. Whatever it is that's failing me.
Just arriving at the hospital cured you.
That's it. It's amazing. Once again, for our fabulous Irving firefighters. All right, so I'm going to ask the million-dollar question here.
Okay.
Can I put this on?
Absolutely.
I must be crazy.
You wouldn't want to try to put this suit on by yourself. We're going to solicit the help of some of our fellow hazmat team members here to help get you in that suit, because it is definitely not a one-man operation. So if you'll have a seat there,
Okay.
we'll help you out.
Okay, so I have to take off my shoes.
Mm-hmm.
This is crazy. And so when you guys suit up like this, you actually have to get help from the other guys too.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh my God.
We have to have a lot of people here and a lot of people helping.
I'm starting to feel like the Michelin Man.
You will look like the Michelin Man here
A
shortly.
big orange Michelin Man. The material's very stiff, so I can
Yes.
see why you would need even for.
You will lose a lot of your dexterity when you're in this suit, as you can well imagine.
Yeah.
And yet you have to go in and deal with mitigating this incident.
Wow. So I'm going to lose 10 pounds by doing this, huh? Now you understand my
least.
motivation.
Okay, now you stand up.
Wow. Wow.
Now the part that you will not have is the face piece. So we're not going to zip the suit up all the way. We'll allow you to breathe, Kathy. So when we get it on you, we'll go ahead and let it envelop you and so forth. And you will be encapsulated along with your air tank, but you will not be actually breathing the air because you won't have the face piece on.
I think that's probably a good idea.
Probably a good idea.
Couple of layers in there.
I'm gonna leave it open right here.
Thank you.
Yes, so you can add some air. Anyone have a coin?
I'm ready to come out of this thing already.
Kathy?
This is crazy, and I can't unzip it.
Could you pick that set of keys up for me?
I can't even see the set of keys.
Your vision is very impaired, but you have to deal with it. Good. Now let me try one more thing, see if you can do this. Now I'm going to have you pick up one key.
Oh my God.
Very good, you got it. Did you get it? See, you didn't know.
Am I
But
hired?
yes, you did get it. You're hired.
Can I get out of this?
Are you ready to get out? Okay.
We learned a lot on that show, especially that it's best to leave hazmat suit wearing to the trained professionals. We were inspired by that show to see how many different types of vehicles people in Irving use to get around town. Yeah, we know, planes, trains, and automobiles, but how about gondolas, pedal boats, and motorcycles? Derek Johnson is manager of Gondola Adventures, which provides the most romantic way to travel around Lake Carolyn.
Each cruise is different and unique. Basically, we're located here in the canal part, which we call the Mandalay Canal, where we're located at right now, the most beautiful part of the city.
Just like in Venice, there are a few traditions and rules to observe.
Normally, it's customary that ladies, when you open the door for ladies to get in the car, normally ladies get on first. But in this case, since we're in Italy, Irving, Texas, the man always gets on the boat first. The reason why is to make sure that the boat is secure. The second thing is that because they did not believe in PDA in Italy, whenever there's a bridge, the longer the bridge, the longer the kiss.
If you'd like an Italian aria to go with your romantic moment, they can do that for you. But there's other kinds of music too.
I'm the more lovable gospel singer, R&B singer. We got some Italian singing, we got some country western. It's different flavors. Whoever your gondola is that day, guess what? That's what you're gonna get unless you request it.
If you like your boating adventures a little more active, Brooke Pratt visited Lake Carolyn's newest water attraction, the pedal boats.
New boats are making their debut on Irving's Lake Carolyn, and they run on pedal power.
I think it's awesome. It's always a great thing to add something to the city that can be fun for just a group of friends or family or just even by yourself because it's super peaceful out here.
Irving residents of all ages came out for a free ride during the inaugural weekend of the newest water attraction in the city, catching some sun and exercise.
It was fun. It was a lot of fun.
It's a lot of fun and a lot of good exercise actually. It's good for legs.
It's fun as well as it's, you're getting some workout. You're like sweating when you're out there.
There are two different types of boats for you to choose from. This is the one-seater and there's also a three-seater. These aren't any old pedal boats though, they're state-of-the-art propel-driven boats, which makes it easier and smoother for you to pedal.
The boats I know basically themselves is just like riding a bicycle. Straight pedaling. No motorized boat, just straight pedaling. Good exercise, fun in the sun with the canopy or without the canopy. Have it your way.
The pedal boats are owned and operated by the same company as the gondolas that are on the lake.
We already have the gondolas here, so that is an attraction that appeals more to a date night or something romantic. But the pedal boats encompass more than just a romantic evening.
Actually, I'm very excited. I've been here for almost a year, and I was looking forward to like this kind of thing. So this is very, very exciting, you know.
Yeah,
So,
it's like a good
yeah,
use of the
yeah.
lake. We would always talk about, they could do more with this lake. There wasn't much.
So whether you are with friends, with kids, with a date, or riding solo, you can now add pedal boats to your list of things to do here in Irving.
From our restaurants to the gondolas to now the pedal boats to the largest equestrian sculpture in the world in Williams Square to all the public events we have at the convention center, it just adds to our list of different things that we have to offer for people that live here, visitors, and just our folks in neighboring cities.
It's a great attraction, great flavor, we love it. It's a great new addition. What more can we say?
Good job.
A moonlight boat trip on Lake Carolyn certainly is a great way to make a romantic memory. But if what you like is a little adventure, no better place to find that than on a Harley.
Welcome to Eagle Rider, rent a Harley. Eagle Rider, we rent dreams. That's our tagline. We rent dream because I think most of us have some sort of dream to live free and be wild. We rent by the day. It's a 24-hour period. The requirements are you must have a motorcycle license. It must be 21 years or older. And obviously you have to be able to pay for it. And there is a security deposit, depending on whether you purchase our insurance coverage or not. And that's it. And you have to be able to ride. You have to demonstrate capability to ride, and we will help you out with that. Lots of gentlemen come in here. They had a motorcycle in their youth, and they come in here and they want to try it back out again. Generally, we for someone who's not sure, we will actually walk him in here and go through the different bike models, and show them and let them sit on the bikes until they're comfortable. It's not something that you're going to go in and see someone with a 20-year-old, leaking oil, dripping and smoking out the back. These are the latest and greatest. We know that when people come here to rent, they're looking to rent a dream and not a smoking clunker that's going to break down 3 miles from here and walk halfway back to the store and get a tow home. We do have the Softail line. We have the touring line. We have the Sportster, we have the Big Daddy, the Electric Glide, we have Road King. We have a little of everything. We generally try to stock the bikes that people like to ride or are more popular. And if they're comfortable, we'll put them on whatever their dream is, which is going back to the thing, we rent dreams, experience the dream. We have 2 major segments of population that rents from us. One, what we call the weekend warriors, people who have a passion to ride but that do not own one. Generally, we'll see them in here to rent for the weekend, whether it is for a charity ride or they're out with their buddies for the ride, or they might be in town visiting their friend who has a bike. The other segment is, believe it or not, we have lots and lots of international tourists.
I'm actually from Australia.
From BC, Canada.
From Canada. They have the dream of riding somewhere in America in a Harley Davidson motorcycle and to have wind in their hair.
Today, unfortunately, we have to stick to the highway for a bit. We're going to head down 183. We leave the highway, and then from there it's secondary roads all the way down to College Station, and then the next day we make our way down to Galveston and continue along the coast all the way to New Orleans.
We came up to ride from here to Orlando.
We're going up north to a place called Eureka Springs, Arkansas, and then we're coming across back to Dallas.
American Dream is about freedom. A lot of our culture is encompassed around cars, automobile transportation, to be able to hit the open road, to explore your individuality, the freedom, which is what Harley Davidson motorcycle is all about.
The 2 things are synonymous, Harley Davidson and America. So that's why we come here. This is the best place to ride. The roads are great, the country's bike friendly, facilities are good, everything works. We love it here.
We like going to the smaller towns. It just seems to be, stay away from the cities, you meet more interesting locals that way, have better experiences.
Apparently, motorcycles are not just for the guys.
We stop for tourist attractions and for out-of-the-way pubs.
To be safe on the open road, you need to be prepared.
You've got to have the correct gear, helmet, leather jacket. These jeans have got Kevlar lining in them, so It's a bit more abrasion proof, good set of boots, gloves. So once you've got that, then there's not much else you need. You know, you can live out of one T-shirt for a week if you have to, and a credit card. You need a credit card and you're done.
Well, you pack kind of light. You make sure you use a washing machine every stop you make. And I pack all my stuff in the large container. My husband gets one side container, and I get my shopping in the other.
We just have such friendly people, especially if you pull up in a Harley-Davidson motorcycle. You know, I mean, it's an instant conversation opener. Somebody always has something to talk about. Whether, you know, if you run out of gas, or, you know, God forbid you run over a nail, you get a flat tire on the side of the road, someone will stop to help you. It just brings out the American dream in all of us.
Lake Carolyn is rapidly becoming a destination for fun throughout the Metroplex, and events like the annual Dragon Boat Festival draws people by the thousands. Here's a look at Festival 2013. For the past 7 years, Irving has been home to the DFW Dragon Boat Festival, and the heart of the festival is the dragon boat races.
This is somewhat like the Olympic rowing. I mean, this is serious. You got teams from all over Texas up here. In fact, you can go to TexasDragonBoat.com. They can tell you all the different activities that they do, but they compete all over the state, sometimes nationally and internationally.
One of the teams attending for the second year is the Austin Coolers. They're earning points to qualify for races around the globe.
We're doing a kind of a circuit Grand Prix style where we earn points from going to the events. So we kicked off the season going to the Austin Festival race, Austin Dragon Boat race, the last weekend in April. Then the next week was at Chandler's Landing, I think is the name, in Houston. Next was the New Orleans Dragon Boat Festival. Now we're in the Dallas Dragon Boat Festival. Now the teams are going to go separate ways for international travel. So next month we're going to Vancouver, Canada, not Washington. And Houston, I believe, is going to Toronto. I had to double check that. I think Dallas may be going to Shreveport for another race. And the finale of the season will be ending up in October Regatta, the International Dragon Boat Regatta in Houston.
But first, they want to win the DFW Dragon Boat Race. And there's lots of competition.
1, 2, 3, hit! 1, 2, 3, hit!
Chris Arnold is the voice of the Dallas Mavericks and sports show host for CBS Radio, but he puts on a different hat at this year's festival.
I love to multitask, and this is the first time I've ever done this, but this is exciting. I am the MC for the Dragon Boat races here. It's the 7th annual DFW Dragon Boat Race, Kite and Lantern Festival. They've got all kinds of foods, they got kites, and they've got these incredible races going on back here. And I announced the winners, I announced the results. Coming up a little bit later this afternoon, we got the championship round.
The final race of the day is the championship round, and it's all about who qualifies in the earlier races to win their spot at the end.
The defending champion for this event here in Las Colinas is Austin Coolers. They are the defending champion. They're going to try to make it 2 in a row.
For several years, the Irving Firefighters were the team to watch at the Dragon Boat races, and they hold multiple championship titles. Since they're my team, it was time to see if they're ready to take it back this year.
We got guys from all different stations, all different shifts, different ranks, captain, lieutenant, firefighter, so there's a little bit of everything out here.
But as Chris mentioned, the Austin Coolers stole the championship last year, so I better check out the competition.
Austin! Here we go! Austin! Here we go! Austin! Here we go! Have you heard? Here we go!
We're from Austin, so thus the Austin Coolers name. We've been practicing 2-3 times a week. We practice year-round. This team evolved from a bunch of a quabble of different organizations and events, and our long-term member, or longest-term member rather, the most arduous of all, is Sheena Chang. She's our coach. She has been the primary driver for our team and the primary motivation to get us together.
What do you bring in today, besides you, of course, that they didn't have last year?
Always got to stay together, row together, and, you know, stay. That's basically it. You got to stay together and row together, otherwise you ain't going to do nothing.
As a reminder, Irving Fire Department is all men's. We follow the co-ed rule, which is 8 girls on a boat, non-clean drummer.
Oh,
so
okay.
We try to follow the rules, even though we're in the men's premier division.
So you got your eye on the Irving Fire Department.
Yeah.
Every boat has to have a drummer. It's part of the tradition. Irving's drummer is Ashley Sims.
So I've got Ashley here, and Ashley's going to describe the skill that it takes to be a drummer for a winning Dragon Boat team. All right, Ashley, how did you get involved in this?
Well, I was voluntold because they needed someone, and I can keep a beat, so I got the job.
All right, so any special training? Have you been practicing? What's the story?
On the job training today, so.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you to do something for me. It's going to feel a little bit foolish.
Okay.
I know you don't have, are you drumming with mallets, or what are you drumming with?
One mallet.
One mallet? How do you keep a beat with one mallet?
Just a beat a second. I mean, just keep a beat.
All right, did you see that? That is skill. Do that again for us one more time. We may have to do this in slow motion so that you can actually get the angle, right? Ashley, thank you so much. Y'all go out there and get Austin.
We're going to try.
All right?
We're going to try.
All right. Sorry, Austin. We love y'all, but get Austin. Okay, thank you.
But Austin may be hard to beat.
The fact that you guys swept in here last year and stole the championship away is kind of
We
neat
intended
too.
that. That was planned before we even planned it. So the idea is that we work hard, so we deserve to get something good out of it, right?
Just try to come in first.
The competition is definitely heating up, and Chris Arnold will be keeping us up to the minute on the results.
Yes, you can get back to me and I'll tell you who won, I can tell you who lost, and I can tell you who showed up and didn't show up in the race.
All right,
they
I
showed
like
up,
it.
But they wasn't ready.
They were not ready to do it. Okay.
Whatever happens, the firefighters have some loyal fans.
Look who we have. It's Derek Thompson. Hey, Derek, star of his own special package on About Town. Thank you, Derek, for letting me talk you into being interviewed.
Good to be here.
So what brought you out to the festival today?
You know, I heard a lot about it, Kathy, but this is my first year actually coming, and all the good stuff I've heard about it, it's true. You know, some people were telling me, they were like, why doesn't Irving have like a taste of Irving out here? But this is the taste of Irving because there's so much to see, there's so much to do, and you get to cheer on the fabulous Irving Fire Department as they kick butt on the Dragon Boat races.
All right,
so I'm looking forward to it.
Yep, me too. So I may find you later and see. I don't know that there's anything that we can personally do to make sure that the firefighters win again this year, other than cheer.
That's what I'm here to do.
Cheer. All right, so we will be down there cheering them on.
And I know you're not going to beat me, are you, cheering?
No way. Of course I am. I'm a competitive woman.
Competition.
Yes, it's on.
Let's see how Chris Arnold thinks this is all going to play out.
I really do think that Austin's going to repeat, but we will see. I'm going to keep my eye on the firefighters. We'll see if they got some of what it takes. And by the way, it's a win-win situation for everybody because the weather's beautiful, the wind's blowing. High temperature today, 83 in May in Texas. You can't beat that.
The U.S. Olympic Committee came to Irving last year when the natatorium hosted the U.S. Open Synchronized Swimming Championships. For all you naysayers out there who think this event is too pretty to be a sport, take a look at these amazing athletes vying to qualify for the next Summer Olympics. We were inspired by their dedication and hard work, and we think you will be too.
We're hosting the United States Synchronized Swimming Association U.S. Open. It's an international meet. We have teams here from China, Venezuela, Mexico, all the Canadian provinces, and a number of American teams, including the U.S. national team.
Wow, that's pretty impressive when you think about bringing a community together in Irving. It's the international community.
It's the international community. And as you know, I'm sure, the two most diverse zip codes in the United States are right here in Irving, Texas. So it's really fitting that we should bring such a diverse international event. It's very reflective of our general pool population and our pool users here.
I don't think there's any tougher thing to do in terms of endurance than being a good swimmer. So lots goes on here.
Lots goes on here, trust me. From daily fitness, just people working out on their own, but of course our relationship with the Pirouettes of Texas, they are a City of Irving sponsored organization. They work out here 8 to 12 hours a week, every week out of the year.
Wow.
The girls are amazing athletes. You ought to see what they do. When they come here, it is all business. They swim, they train, they learn all these amazing moves that you see in their routines.
That's exciting to have a group of young athletes like that right here in the community and having a system in place that can sort of nurture their talent and make sure that they do get a chance to achieve that way.
Our pool is really set up for this because we have a very large, deep portion of water. This allows us to host a team like the Pirouettes because many of their training endeavors and their moves require a lot of deep water. There's a lot of width and space that allows it. It also allows the high school club teams to have regular swim meets and a lot of other things to go on. So we're really a very versatile facility. The pirouettes are just one of our flagship programs. We're really proud of them.
This competition is certainly an international affair. There are people that are here as close as North Texas and as far away as China. And being the international person that I am, I get a chance to talk to them.
Bonjour, les citoyens d'Irving, Texas.
Hola, Irving.
Ni hao, Irving.
Bonjour, Irving.
Hola, Irving. Hello, Irving. It's a good trip, yeah. For Synchro, we travel to like other provinces in Canada, so we're all used to traveling.
For us, it's a good opportunity to send them out and they can see what kind of competition they have with some other countries.
We have been in the World Junior Championships in last year, so I see it a lot of routines and a lot of countries. So I have learned a lot of the countries, of all that. So it's one more experience, and I prepared for getting better.
It's very important for Venezuela do the connection with South America and North America and Mexico, because the technical level is better, and so I know much more techniques, and when come back to Venezuela it's better, and the Federation of Venezuela give me the money to go another competition in the Europe, because this is a sport of the arts, and if the judges don't know you, the score is very less.
These teenage athletes have been training a lot, but together as teams only this summer.
Yes, actually I coach, we call it the Quebec team. It's a provincial team. So we've been trained for almost 3 weeks before coming here.
We train every day 6 hours in the morning, and in the afternoon some girls go to school.
The Chinese team undoubtedly had the longest trip, 16 hours.
So the warm-up is very important. We need to make ourselves very excited.
Although there was a lot of training during their short trip to North Texas, many teams found exciting ways for the girls to relax.
Tuesday we've been to Dallas Galleria because girls want to shop, but we don't have any time for sightseeing.
Well, we went to the zoo, and that was pretty cool because they don't really have like all those animals in Calgary.
We go to the first day to a mall to buy things and all that stuff.
Well, after that story, there really isn't anything else to say except the tutela, Saigon, adios. Kathy, over to you.
As you've seen, there are visitors from all over the world here in Irving to compete in the U.S. Open Synchronized Swimming Championships. But what are the judges looking for? Laura Barlow will give us the inside scoop so we can find out exactly what's going on. So tell me a little bit, Laura, if you will, about what the judges will see today and what they want to see.
Okay, well, first of all, judging in synchronized swimming is divided into 2 categories, technical merit and artistic impression. Technical merit is divided into difficulty, execution, and synchronization. Artistic impression is divided into choreography, manner of presentation, and music interpretation.
So let's see what that looks like in the water.
Girls, let's start with some technical merit. And she's getting ready to execute a synchronized swimming move. She'll do what we call a hybrid, which is just another word for mixed movements while you're upside down.
Okay.
She's sculling right now with skull. That's a crane, doggy, bent knee. And notice how she's moving in sort of a slow count fashion. Everything is precise.
Yeah.
And someone who does swimming like what Anna did will get a certain score, and then someone who performs swimming along these lines gets a somewhat higher score.
Okay, so when the judges are watching this happen, they're looking for height,
Yes.
and they're looking for precision.
Yes.
So these pointed toes and all those things, do they make a difference too?
Exactly. They're also looking for do the movements match the music interpretation. How does the choreography go together overall?
So let's see a little bit of this artistic impression stuff.
Okay, manner of presentation is a big part of artistic impression, and the girls themselves have a huge amount of control over this. Anna, please demonstrate for me someone who's a little bit scared of synchronized swimming and not quite sure what the judges are going to do for her when she's done. Egg beat her a little bit, so you're actually doing a routine. All right, now Becca.
I love that face.
Because drawing the judges into the pool is part of the job of a synchronized swimmer.
Oh, okay.
The judges have to feel what the swimmer is feeling when she hears and swims the piece.
All right, wonderful.
And now do something that would be to like a circus routine or a happy, something to draw them in with happy. Oh, okay. Yes, she's doing something happy, graceful, smooth, and flowing.
Okay, that's beautiful. That is wonderful. Okay, so when the ladies compete today, what are they going into the water in their minds? Because I know that that's a part of it as well.
The ladies mostly concentrate on counting the music, getting synchronized with each other, making sure they execute, and making sure they present.
All right,
because
fantastic.
the routines are already written, which is the choreography and the music interpretation.
Okay, so folks, you'll know what we're looking for here as amateur judges as we go forward today at the U.S. Open Synchronized Swimming Championships. Thanks, Laura.
And we are here with Simone and Julie, and what are we here to do today? Synchronized swimming. Yeah? All right, let's get to it. Wow, this water feels amazing. So what kind of stunts are we going to do today?
Well, we're going to do some basic stuff like sculling and egg beatering.
And if we have time, we'll teach y'all how to do a ballet leg. So, all right, let's get started. We'll start first with egg beatering. And this is what we do to stay up in the water whenever we're doing arm movements. And the higher you get can give you more points. So your legs basically look like an actual egg beater. They go like this, they rotate. So it's like this. Oh. You want to open your legs out really wide. It's awkward, I know, but open your legs out really wide. Okay. And rotate your legs in and out, okay? Then arch back to have some nice synchro posture. And then at first, egg beater is really hard, but then eventually you have to start doing like arms with it. You want to show them?
So something like arms we do, I guess, like little waves, and we go up with our arms in our routines. So yeah.
And sometimes our coach makes us do double arm egg beatering up and down the pool when she's mad at us.
Double arm egg beating?
Yeah.
No, they have to be straight. Okay, hold on. I can't. No. That's hard.
I'm sinking.
Okay, so the next thing's sculling, and that's like, there's different types, and one of them is to like,
standardized sculling.
Standard, and that's like to travel.
You go like this with your hands, and you normally use it when you're laying on your back.
Okay.
So like this.
Just keeps you in place and moves you. Don't put my head up. Put my head back.
You want to lay out on the water.
Okay, lay out on the water.
Try to get your feet up. And curve your hands in and make figure eights.
Like little ice cream scoops.
Yeah.
Okay. A lot of arm muscle.
Is that right? Yeah. Cool. Something that we use standardized sculling for is the ballet leg. So again, you lay out on your back. And then this right here is called a sailboat. And then you lift up like this.
Okay. And you're floating on your back while you're doing that.
Yeah. Okay.
Ice cream scoops and stick my legs in the air. Yeah, let's try one. Try one. Put on my goggles. Ready?
Okay, so next, our favorite skull is called support skull. It goes like this.
It keeps us up when we're underwater.
Okay.
So you're keeping your elbows kind of bent.
You keep them into your side like this, and then you go backwards and forwards like that.
It's hard. Do I scoop my hands or do I keep them
straight,
flat? It's kind of flat, and you. So By kissing the snake?
To hold you up. When you're upset, do you want me to go in the vertical?
Yeah, go in the vertical. Here, I'll do it with you.
Let's do a crane instead. Or bent knee. Let's do a bent knee.
I'll do it.
You're not touching the ground.
You're not allowed. You're doing this going with your arms to stay touching the ground gets you disqualified.
Okay. How do I do a crane? It's like a handstand?
Okay, you go, this is called a pike. Pike. That's a pike.
Okay.
Once you get into a pike, you lift one leg up and then you support skull to stay up.
Okay.
You want to keep your support skull like under your knee because it will help like lift this leg up.
Okay. Okay, I'm gonna give it a try. We're gonna see what happens.
I want my nose to watch.
You may want to put your nose
Yeah, put on your nose to She's off.
You may want to put your nose to
All right, nose clip. Y'all have to wear this?
You have. Well, you can. You don't have to, but it's best advised you do.
Okay.
This isn't attractive.
You use it so you
And
use
it
it to
hurts.
keep the water out of your
Yes.
nose.
And when you have long hybrids, which is the long sequence of leg movements in the air when you're underwater, it like makes it easier.
Yeah, to breathe.
Because otherwise it hurts a lot.
And tell us a little bit about the other stuff you have to do, like with your hair, with your makeup, to stay appropriate in the water.
We have this stuff in our hair. It's called Nox gelatin, and it's basically unflavored Jello. And it comes in these little packets of powder, and you have to like heat it up with hot water and then paint it on your head.
Oh,
Because
fun.
we're not allowed to wear caps.
Takes
and
a while to get
We
out.
have head pieces, which we bobby pin into our head to make them look prettier.
How many different moves do you have in each routine, or like how many different possibilities can you have? Or
I think the possibilities are about endless. You can
Endless?
have pretty much anything. A foot just an inch off is a different move from something else.
Okay.
So
And you can make up new moves. Our coach does all the time.
Yeah.
You do whatever looks good and whatever fits.
how long does a routine last usually?
It depends on the age group. When you're younger, your routine will normally be like 2.5 minutes, 3. But when you get older, it gets
like
longer.
4.
Right now, our team routine is 4 minutes and 15 seconds.
How often and how long do y'all practice?
It depends on the team, really. But we have 2 2-hour practices on Tuesday and Thursday, and then we have a 4-hour practice on Saturday morning.
Oh, yeah, and usually during competition season, we'll add in like Friday and Sunday practices too. All right, well, thank you so much for taking the time to show us some of your moves. I mean, now that we've practiced, I guess we're ready to compete with y'all.
And speaking of artistry, since 2003, Irving has been the home to the nationally acclaimed Lyric Stage, a theater company dedicated to introducing new works and preserving the original musical scores of masterpieces of the American musical theater. Here's our retrospective of 20 years of Lyric Stage.
It's a celebration of American musical theater, which is one of our homegrown art forms.
It's a different experience. When you come here to the Carpenter Performance Hall and we have this open pit and you hear 40 musicians playing acoustically, meaning there's no amplification.
Nothing is microphones, none of the instruments. You get the true acoustic sound. You feel
the vibrations that the instruments create. So you hear it, you feel it. It's a whole other experience.
I'm just a woman, but I know that I am truly loved.
and the orchestra becomes another character in telling the story. That's why I think it's an amazing and unique experience.
It was July 8th of 1993 was the opening night of Lyric Stage. And I chose Romance Romance because it had never been done in Dallas. It was a new show. It had been nominated for the Tony Award just 2 seasons before, or 3 seasons before, and it only had a cast of 4, so I could control it artistically. Wasn't heavy on scenery, wasn't heavy on costumes, so I could manage it.
He had his 2+ years of life savings, literally, had started. We basically started with kite string and cardboard for sets and anything we could round up because we had a very limited budget.
The budget of Lyric Stage was my $10,000 that I had saved. All the money I had in the world is really what went in to start the theater. And I can remember prop shopping. We needed a cocktail shaker, and I didn't know anybody that had a cocktail shaker. So I had to go buy one. I think it was a Crate and Barrel, and I spent $25 on that cocktail shaker. I was like, I can't believe I've had to spend $25 on this prop for this show. I mean, it was penny to penny. I mean, every dollar was really important.
He kept going first season, and second season, well, he was about scraping around for more money.
The second show we did was 110 in the Shade. I've always been a huge fan of Harvey Schmidt and Tom Jones. That Texan writing pair, they graduated from the University of Texas, and they wrote The Fantastics, which is their best known show. But 110 in the Shade had always been one of my all-time favorite musicals.
Rain is rain, brother. It comes from the sky. The madness known as water, or aqua pura.
I had a friend in New York, Mary Stout, who was a good friend of Tom and Harvey. She had done a lot of their projects, and said, you need to call them and meet with them. I was still living in New York at the time. And I said, I can't call them. Sure you can. Here's their phone number. So I called Harvey, and they set up the meeting.
We had breakfast with him one day in New York.
Very stout, right?
Yeah, and I really instantly liked him, and I don't know, he had good manners and he had enthusiasm.
And Harvey said, I've got a whole file of music that we wrote for the show and didn't use. You're welcome to it. They had written about 116 songs for the show before it went into rehearsal. And he sent me all this material and gave us the flexibility to make changes. So we actually put in 3 new songs and took out 2 songs. So we didn't add 3 songs to the whole complete score, replaced a couple of songs. Had a great time with it, and it was a wonderful success.
He found some people that started believing in him and supporting him.
A mutual friend invited Steve and I both. We had never met. He'd been here for a year doing theater, starting this theater out of $100,000, $10,000 in his pocket, I think. And he was going to start an equity theater. And I, quite frankly, laughed the first time I heard that. I thought, that just can't possibly be, this won't work.
And we were getting ready to do Carnival. This is in 1996. And the director for Carnival had a family emergency. This is all really last minute. And literally at the time that Cheryl and I are doing this SAG project, I get the call saying the director is going to have to bow out. And this is early on in Lyric Stage. So like, oh, no, what am I going to do? And I knew Cheryl was a great director, but Cheryl really was a play director. She really was not known for directing musicals. I didn't know it at the time, but she had directed one musical, The Fantastics.
Our mutual friend said, Cheryl's a director, why don't you talk to her?
I said, Cheryl, we've just met. I'd like to visit with you about directing our upcoming production of Carnival. She said, great. So we sat down, I gave her the script, and that's where it started, and it hasn't stopped. It was still just my funds running the theater, and it was really tight. And you know, all the credit card companies always are sending you in the mail these checks that you can write. I'd never used one of those, haven't used one since. I used one then.
Oh no, there's no way. Oh no, this ain't gonna be here for 4 more minutes.
Wrote that check out to myself, took it down and got the cash, and immediately deposited in the bank, or we would have been overdrawn on equity payroll checks. I mean, it was that tight.
And that is, I think, the second season, so that would have been forever ago now, a long time.
Cheryl usually directs at least 2 shows per season and has done some of our great, you know, she did the King and I and Carousel, some of our great Rodgers and Hammerstein things, and has made the transition well with me from the Dupree and the small shows to the Carpenter and the full orchestra productions.
As it grew, well, he's been able to provide better and better productions, and we're here today.
And for fans of the silver screen, the Irving Convention Center has been home since it opened to the Comic-Con shows, where fans of sci-fi, fantasy, and comic books go for 2 days of total fandom immersion. So we went behind the scenes to find out a little bit more about Comic-Con and the Irving Convention Center.
Now I have the pleasure of being here with Mark Walters. He's the event manager for Open Official Picks.
Yes.
Tell us about this event today.
Well, Fan Days it's our fall, it's our big fall festivity that we bring together kind of a little bit of everything. We've got comic book artists, we've got celebrity guests, we've got people from just about every different facet of whether it's sci-fi or any sort of genre-related television. We're really lucky this weekend because we've got two of some of the coolest stars from Breaking Bad. We've got Ron Perlman from Sons of Anarchy, a lot of timely guests this time around, which is always fun to have somebody from like current hit TV shows.
Awesome. I've always heard that Comic-Con has star power.
Yes.
Now tell us, how many folks are expected to come through these doors today?
Well, I'll tell you, our May show, I think we came close to about 25,000 people.
Wow.
So we're hoping that we hit about 20 for the show.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So how do you start planning a party that big?
It never stops, really. People always ask me, they say, how much time goes into planning something like this? It's one of those things that all year round we're always working on it. We spend a lot of spare time working on it. I would say on average it takes about 4 months of planning.
4 months of planning.
Yeah.
Now, this isn't your first time at the Irving
Not at
Convention Center. So what have you heard about the fan experience here at the Irving Convention Center?
It's been great. I mean, the one thing that I always hear from people whenever they see it, whether it's guests or fans, is they love the design of the facility because the outside of it, it's one of those things that when you drive by and you see it on the road, you're like, wow, what is that?
Yes.
And so I think that was one of the neatest things about coming here was that the look of the place, it really fits what we do. It looks like something out of a sci-fi movie.
What should a first-timer expect?
Well, the one thing we always tell people is there's always something going on. We've got Q&As that are going on all weekend. If you've never been to one of these Q&As that a star does or that one of the talent does at the show, it's always fun. We encourage families to come. We want people to bring their kids and really experience this. That's the whole thing, is it's an experience. I mean, people go to Six Flags, they spend a fortune or whatever. You could come here and spend a lot less money and walk away with some really lasting memories. And so that's what we want, is we want people to just have that experience here.
Now, what is this thing I'm hearing about cosplay? Can you tell me about that?
Cosplay is huge. People love cosplay. It's one of those things I think that outside of Halloween, how many times can you dress up, as your favorite superhero or your favorite comic book character or your favorite TV character and not look odd? I mean, like you can come here and dress up. We encourage people to dress up. We love it when they dress up. We've got a thing we call the cosplay carpet, which is like a red carpet for people who dress up. And they walk the carpet, the press take pictures of them. We've got a costume contest Saturday evening with cash prizes. We really encourage people. Again, it's all about celebrating your fandom.
So this event is a 3-day event.
It is 3 days. Yeah.
Okay, and is there a different flavor for each of the days, or?
Not necessarily. Yeah, there's always something cool going on. Yeah, there's plenty of things. Again, like I said, we encourage families because there's all sorts of activities for kids. We have a group called the 501st, which is a fan group for Star Wars. They have a thing where the kids can come in and shoot a stormtrooper. There's Make-A-Wish Foundation things that are going on. There's a lot of great events happening here that every room has something cool happening in it.
This certainly sounds like it. Well, we're going to get out of here, but is there anything else people should know if they've never been?
I think it's really just, having the chance, like I said, to kind of share your fandom with like-minded people and have the experience that you can take away from it and have some really great memories. I mean, the photos alone that you'll be able to take here and show your friends, they'll be so jealous of you, and they'll want to come to the next one and join you for it and everything. So yeah, just give it a try. Don't be afraid. You'll have fun.
Absolutely. I'm going to get some photos and post them on Facebook myself
while
I'm here.
Irving Main Street event expanded in 2013 to a 2-day event full of fun, music, and food. Well, we decided to show you some highlights to close because we have an ending that really can't be improved on. See you next time.
jumbo is complete without a heaping order of potatoes and a foot-long corn dog.
Obviously, we're at an impasse here because I think that the jumbo hot dog is going to taste the best.
And I'm trying to tell this man that it's going to be the brisket all the way. But maybe we should just ask an expert.
Let's do that.
Yeah.
Why choose? You can get all three.
Like the way you think.
We have brisket, we have pulled pork, hot links, jumbo hot dogs, sausage on a bun, and it's all really, really good.
Oh, Kathy, what was I thinking?
I don't know, Peter. I think I was thinking the same thing. We said we wanted to try a little bit of everything.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
I wanted to do that.
Yeah. That was not our best idea.
But
yes,
it was good.
It was delicious. But now we have to pay for it.
I covered the carnival. It was so much fun.
Yes, and the cars. Oh, just fantastic being out there with the cars. And Kathy was supposed to be doing something.
What did she
Where's
do?
Kathy?
Where is she?
Oh
my goodness. Wow.
This was so much fun. We'll see you next time on Discover Irving.